Hey guys,
Hello,
I'm here with Shogo Garcia,
pickup guru extraordinaire.
and in this video we're going to talk about should you force yourself to approach girls. And back over the last couple of years, when I was more into listening to like pickup artists and dating advice, a big message that I was getting from these pickup artists and dating guys and guys in the seduction community was that you should force yourself to approach girls. You should, if you don't feel like it, you should go out at night. And you should force yourself to approach girls at night, or you should force yourself to do day game. But the bottom line was that there's these top pickup guys who force themselves to approach girls, and that they're preaching that the best way to improve with women, the best way to improve your dating and romantic life, is to approach girls. And because they do it so much, it really makes you start to feel really insecure about yourself, because these other guys are approaching so many girls, thousands of girls even sometimes. And you're wondering, what am I doing here living my life? Maybe that's why I'm not successful in my romantic life, not happy and fulfilled in my romantic life, is because I'm not approaching girls. And I think me and Shogo, especially Shogo, have a very different perspective on the topic of should you force yourself to approach girls. Take it away, Shogo.
Yeah, thanks. I always like to say I get emails, especially on this topic, a lot from a lot of the younger guys, and it's how many girls have you approached? What's the best way of going about approaching girls? You said not to approach girls, blah, blah, blah. How do I do it? It's because, it's using the word approaching, that's fucking with your head. Because that is a straight pickup term that never existed. It never existed. I'm 32 years old now. It never existed when I was 22. It never existed in those days when I was, building up my social skills and like wanting to go up and talk to girls and being too scared and, all that stuff. I get all that. But what I would used to call it was you're at a party and you want to go up and talk to that girl over there, not go approach that girl. That's not I don't even know, is that human behavior? I don't know what that is. It sounds like an animal in the savannah or something. So I like to say that I don't approach women. I've never approached a girl. I never do, and I never will. Oh, actually, that's not true. I have, because I've worked for a couple boot camp, companies, and you have to do it there, and they call it approaching. But it's never been my thing. I've never taught it, and I'm so proud that I never have. But the whole concept behind if you just remove the word approaching out of your vocabulary, just think about that for a second. Just remove the word approach out of your vocabulary and think about what it would be like just to talk to a girl that you come across. See if you can start a conversation with a girl that you come across. And you actually feel a lot less stress doing that. The important thing really is to build up who you are, and is to build up your social life. You can do that in many, many ways. Standing on the street corner approaching is not, in my opinion, it's not the best way to do it, because you're not doing anything for your life. Good.
So let's say you're trying to improve yourself socially, and maybe you're doing things you like to do, you have some hobbies, and you're going to some parties, but you're still not happy and fulfilled in your relationship life. And you feel, because you're hearing these other pickup guys telling you should go approach girls, you should go out and either approach for 3 hours, or you should go on campus and approach. One of my last videos was suggesting you guys go on campus and approach. What would you say to those guys?
Well, here's the thing. Look, if you're like in college and that's what you're doing, yeah, man, you have a lot of free time. It's better to, I think, okay, look, if you're going to use this time to say, I want to go stop girls on the middle of the street and just say, start a conversation with them, or say, hey, you're cute, you're beautiful, what's your name, blah, 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 whatever the pickup advice of the day is, that's better than sitting around with your friends and smoking pot. It's better than sitting around playing Super Smash Brothers for hours, right? But what's even better than that is doing something cool, get a cool job. I mean, the time I got laid the most in my life was when I was bartending. I did that for about 6 years, and that was like more than enough. I came in contact with more than enough women, but I intentionally went out and got myself a bartending job, and I learned all sorts of other stuff too. Social skills with other guys, how to serve people, I learned about serving alcohol, I learned about nightlife that has nothing to do with women, all sorts of stuff. So it's more of a holistic approach. I think the big damage in learning this highly specified, go out and stand on the street corner and approach girls, is not doing much to make you a good, confident, well-rounded kind of, to do anything for the foundation of your life, which is really what you're looking for in the end. I mean, that's what she's going to be attracted to, is a guy who has a very strong, solid foundation as a person. You don't want to meet a girl and then say, when you're sharing your hobbies, have her ask what you do, and either you have to lie or you say, well, actually, what I do in my free time is I stand around on the street and try to pick up girls for 4 hours a day. And that's what a lot of the instructors, guys who are my age, a lot of these guys are doing that. And I tell you, man, they're not very well-rounded people, because what they're doing is I don't want to call people out. I mean, I'm not calling anybody by names here, but just in general, the industry. Because they're spending a lot of time doing with a hobby that's not really it's a strange hobby.
So, just I'm still a pretty young guy. I'm still getting my experience in my dating life. But I think for me, I approached lots of girls when I was 20 years old. I don't do it too much anymore, but I occasionally do. Is that I thought there was massive value in spending a couple months of my life, like a year of my life, learning to approach girls. Whether it was during the day or whether it was night, whether it was in the whatever prank videos. It's just a way of having a fear and busting through that fear.
Yeah.
And I think that provides massive value. But I think the whole approaching girls to improve with girls mindset is completely sidestepping the real issue and the real problem.
And the real problem is you. It's this person here. That's what you need to build up. Not how can I avoid dealing with my own shit, dealing with my own issues and my own lack of whatever it is, fears, insecurities, lack of fulfillment. How can I avoid that by then trying to go out and have girls do that for me or fill that area for me?
Yes. So what I found is I don't approach very much anymore, but when I do, it feels really inspired. I'm kind of just in the moment, and it's like I'm just inspired to approach the girl. It's rarely ever me forcing myself to approach a girl. If I don't feel like approaching a girl, if I don't feel like talking to a girl, I rarely do it. If I'm kind of in the slump, I think there's value in, all right, I'm just going to force myself to talk to some girls right now just to face some fears and kind of jumpstart my social life. I think that's really good to every once in a while force yourself to approach girls if you're not feeling it. But the way to enjoy life, the way for those best connections to flow in is to work on building an attractive lifestyle. And at times, approach girls, but do it in a way where you enjoy doing it. Do it where it's inspired. So rarely force it, but do it in a way where it feels good to you. Because girls really can sense if you're talking to them almost for practice. Oh, this guy is learning to improve with women by approaching me. He doesn't actually want to talk to me, but he's actually on a personal development quest.
Yeah, what girls are sensing, and they're sensing all sorts of stuff. It's probably something you can't even put into words, but it's very much it's an uncenteredness. It's not having a core. It's not having the foundation that you're looking for because you haven't really built up a lifestyle for yourself. So you have built up a lifestyle for yourself, but it revolves around there's not a lot to grab on there. There's not a lot for you to fall back on and for you to be proud of saying oh, this is what I'm all about. This is what my lifestyle is like.
There's definitely girls could sense that you don't actually want to talk to her. That the reason you're talking to her is because you're forcing yourself to talk to her because you think you'll improve with women and meet women if you force yourself to talk to her. And girls can really sense just kind of by the vibes you're putting out.
Well, guys can sense. You can sense that too. If somebody's talking to you who doesn't actually want to talk to you, it's like you're asking yourself, why is this guy talking to me?
What's this person doing?
Right.
So there's definitely value in having periods where you force yourself to approach girls, especially if you're very inexperienced with women.
If you have if you have a fear that you know is completely irrational, like super anxiety, and you see a girl and you just think, oh my god, sex, and that freaks you out, then yeah, by all means, go ahead. You got to bust through that. But that doesn't take very long. If you're sitting there a year, 2, 3 years later, and you're writing down the number of girls that you're quote unquote approaching, you're not doing yourself any favors. You're really, really, really not. Think of it this way. You're one day you will have a girlfriend. One day you will be going out with girls on a regular basis. All of that stuff, approaching stuff that you learned along the way, is going to be useless to you. So use it for what it's worth. See it as a tool. Use it for as much as you need it, but don't replace that with the essential thing, which is finding enjoyment and inspiration and doing things that you're proud of in your life.
So the best connections with girls will happen when you enjoy talking to them, not when you're forcing yourself. So find ways to meet girls through enjoying it.
Well, I would say even beyond that, ESC, you're right. I mean, what's happening is a lot of guys are flipping it the wrong way. They're saying, okay, there's a cute girl. How can I force a good conversation? How can I force myself to enjoy a conversation? You got to learn how to enjoy yourself first. First, enjoy yourself without anybody around. Then you got to learn how to enjoy the conversation with people. Then the icing on the cake on top of that comes with, okay, now there's a cute girl who you might be interested in or you're attracted to, whatever. Now you have this foundation to fall back on, so you can use that and bring that up to you and use that to your advantage. And
you'll find that the inspiration just flows with the girl if there's a connection.
Yeah, and that's the other thing.
Which is completely blew my mind when it first started happening to me. Because I was in this paradigm where I have to force conversations. I was almost faking all my conversations, trying to get girls to like me.
Well, you're learning.
I stopped doing that for a while, and suddenly it's I don't even try at all with girls. It just happens.
Right.
And I enjoy it.
Yes.
Which is completely compared to like the pickup mindset I was in before. It was like, what the fuck was I doing? Once you get to this point.
Right. At that point, so on that thing, two things. That's why you have to still go through, like you have to bust through your shitty fears of not being able to connect with anybody. The only reason you're connecting with the girl now is because those fears have subsided a little bit, so you're actually able to open up, and your mind's able to open up and connect with somebody else's mind. But you have to get through there first. Yeah, and then once you've used the tool, I mean, it's a tool to get somewhere. It's like a raft to get to the other side of the river. Once you've gotten to the other side of the river, you're fucking still running around carrying that raft with you, like that pickup approaching girls raft. Get rid of it, you know.
Every once in a while, if you're in a dry spell, take out the raft a little bit if you want.
Right. If you're back on the other side of the river, fine, you use it again.
But enjoy it. Don't force yourself. Anything forcing always tends to backfire. Until next time, Luke and Shogo out. Peace.
Okay, we hope that you guys really enjoyed this, and we hope we infiltrated your mind with some great new stuff, turned your mind around a little bit. If you have any questions about this, any comments about it, anything that you want us to discuss further, write it down in the comments section. And if we get some really good stuff, we're gonna take the best questions that we have, the best comments that we get, and we're gonna do a video. Luke and I are gonna do a video talking about your questions over on my channel. And we're gonna do a whole extended long video discussing more in depth about this stuff, according to your questions.
Diving super deep into the pickup mindset of should you force yourself to approach girls. And really diving as deep as we can into this.
Diving deep, baby.
This is something Shogo is very passionate about. And we look forward to seeing your questions in the comments. Peace.
Later.